This is a starting out with a tank of the yellow deltas that I raise. I try to enter them in some IFGA shows. That's one of the better males in this tank. This tank is a kind of a conglomeration. I have young females growing out in this tank, and I want them to be hit by these better looking males. So there are going to be a few males in here as well, young males. I'm going to pull them out once they start to develop, put them in a different tank until I can see what they're going to look like. Now, in an attempt to get all the fish out, I took the plants out temporarily. I took the filter out and stopped the airflow. And then I put some food in, thinking that's a great way to get the fish out. But what it did is it got all the fish at the top, which means you really can't see too many of them. So they are going after the food, which now is sunk to the bottom a little bit. But that's one female that I left in here to have some more babies, because she was hit by these males that are I have in this tank, because I like the color, the intense yellow. So I do get a few that have like a lighter yellow. Let's see, and some of them I'll keep as well because of the fin shape, the tail shape. Because the notorious thing with yellow deltas is the dorsals don't get really long, and the tails may not get long, delta shaped tail. But what the other problem is, they'll also have a like this one is kind of perfect as far as the tail color. It's throughout the entire tail, and he has a decent dorsal, and of course he's also not slowing down. But what you'll see a lot if you see yellow deltas anywhere is you will see like a real thin looking tail that's not fully filled in with color. It's probably a better way to say that in English, but I'm searching for words. So this is a young male that's doing extremely well. It's got the color intensity that I want. It's also hiding behind the black border of the tank. There's another one. So it's not quite, I mean, I guess technically it's colony breeding because I have a couple generations in here. But I mainly have the males that I need to keep going with this line, like this one. And it's a lot of work to keep this line going. It's one of the more difficult lines to work with because they're I guess they're weak genetically is probably the nicest way to put it. And kind of like much like a politician, they're just weak genetically and mentally, and I guess that's the case with these fish. So what I'll end up doing is I will pull out some more of the larger males once I get some more batches of fry in here, and I'll just leave the best two looking males in there with the most intense color. And then after that, I'll pull them in a few more weeks after some more babies in there, and move a colony of these out to another tank and grow out the babies. You can see there's a bunch of babies at the top. There's probably some at the bottom somewhere too. Somewhere, there we go, down there. And all in all, extremely happy with this line. It's a lot of work, like I said about 3 times already, but they're really beautiful. My goal eventually will be to get the dorsal longer, get the tail a little bit longer, and you can see if I can find them. I have a couple of them. They have great yellow color, but they also have the couple of red spots or red dots at the kind of the base of the body. Of course, I say that and I can't find. There's one. Like you can see one faint red dot there. There's another one that's got a couple of them, but all in all, it's one of my favorite lines. Maybe because you don't see them as often, and I normally don't sell any because I do enter them in IFGA shows, and I need as many as I can get to get through a whole year of 6 or 7 shows. So I'll move on to some other stuff in case the color yellow bores you. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll add a couple more things. Here's some progress on the green water tank. I can see through about a third to half of the tank now. So things are improving. I took the advice of some of the people that made some comments, and I put a bunch of the wide leaf water sprite in there. And let's see if I can move the light so it doesn't interfere. And none of that's helping. But anyway, you can almost see all the way through the tank now. So it's been about 3 days. So I will give this another couple days of keeping it in the dark. And hopefully things work out. I don't want to go more than 2 days of in the dark because I don't want to mess up these plants. So you can see there's some babies in the tank of they're galaxy guppies. And hopefully I'll have this tank crystal clear in about another 3 or 4 days. So yeah, I'll just add this into another video because it's not the most exciting part. All right, this is an update on let's see, it's a red bluegrass metalhead. This is one of the ones that stayed red. Really nice fish. I'm going to actually take him and the other red one out and put them in with 2 younger females like that one there, and see if I can just get that line going as something separate. It's probably not going to be possible to do that because the blue and the red are kind of intertwined genetically. So that's one of the blue ones. You're not seeing much of the metalhead characteristics right now because, one, I turned the filter off so you can actually see what's happening, and 2, I guess they don't feel like it. But this is obviously the nicest of the bunch. Beautiful fish. It's got really nice spread on the tail of the grass pattern, which is these little fine dots. What happens eventually is the line kind of degenerates a little bit, no matter what the grass lines do, and you end up with a mosaic pattern. Now, I do have some longfin males and females in there. That's one of them. It's not too bad. You can see it's got gigantic. He's got gigantic long pec fins. That's one of the females that has, it's like the swallow characteristics. And it's interesting. I've kept them in there because I don't know, I just don't know what else to do with them. So I have a few of them, and this one is like a combination of the red and the blue. So you can see the metalhead characteristics right on the front part there. So these females have all been hit by the males that are in here. So if I want to separate the red one, what I'm going to have to do is put them in with younger females like that have not really been hit yet, and instead of older ones like this one. So it's a beautiful line. I did put some of them on Aquabid a while back, and none of them got any bids, so I don't know if people don't like this or what, but that's one you can see the metalhead characteristic till that female got in the way. So here comes the red male back. There's another one in there. I haven't seen him. And very nice. This is pretty cool. I'll see if I can end up turning that into a true breeding or somewhat true breeding thing. It may not be possible, like I said, because they do throw a little bit of both. And that's one of the blue ones. So we'll see. Hopefully you're not too bored with this one. It doesn't seem like it's a real popular strain for people. So I'm going to keep it going. Just limited amount of tanks. Thanks. These fish don't like me too much. Every time I come near the little tank I put them in just to do this video, they kind of shudder in fear. That's the female is a young one from the red mosaic lace snake skins. The male is something I came up with out of a cross I had showed before from let's see, it was a black delta male and a galaxy female. This male is spectacular looking. I love that pattern. It's like a fourth color in there, like a yellow. It's a half black body. I don't know what to call the tail. It's like a leopard sort of, but they're not spots. They're more like a mosaic, and then that yellow dash of color in the back. So the dorsal doesn't match at all, which, you know, in reality, eventually I'd like to get that to happen. But this is just something else to throw in at the end of this video that isn't really related to anything else I've been posting lately. But I figured you'd get a kick out of seeing a male like this, because I've really never seen anything like that anywhere else, to be honest with you. It'd be nice if he'd spread the fins. Let me see if I can scare him a little. Oh, scared the crap out of him. Well, now you can see the tail. There we go. Maybe it'll move around some. You can see it's a really beautiful fish. It's pretty cool. And again, I'm going to turn to the side a little bit more. We're in business. There we go. How's that? Haven't really seen anything like that. I don't know what to call it. Beautiful fish. Just really a mix of things. And we'll see if I can keep this going, because it's really beautiful. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Conglomeration of things. Thanks for watching.